Can we just appreciate the craziness of this market? 2,500 point move up on the Nasdaq today. And despite all that, we lost another funded account. So the roller coaster ride continues. Hey, fellow traders, it's Black Coffee Trader coming at you here on a Wednesday. Wow, what a move on this market today. FOMC minutes this afternoon, and also Trump announcing that there's a 90-day pause on a majority of the tariffs, and that definitely sent this market into a power surge here this afternoon. Wow. Unfortunately, I was tied up. I was not even looking at the market during this time, and so I missed this entire move, which I'm a little bit sad about, but I don't know. It is what it is. The unfortunate news for me today is I took the first trade on the Nasdaq that I have taken this week. I have not traded the Nas this week at all, just because of the volume, the volatility, the crazy moves, the 100 to 300 point candles. And on my funded accounts, I just didn't want to do it, and I did it today, and I blew up an account kind of because of it. So let's dive in. I've got to set the stage for you first. On ES, I got trapped. I actually had a pretty good day. I feel very happy with the way I traded, with the exception of these two accounts that I was copy trading. I had a really nice couple of trades on the 83, 84 accounts. Got that one back above 50,000, so that's great. Love to see that. Need to get that one pushed back up. Had a decent little day on the other two 69 to 70 PAs. 90 bucks, nothing big, but green is green. But these two, copy traded these two, and yeah, I got caught. So first, I got caught on this. I had a nice little winning breakdown trade of this key level as we again bumped our heads on the overnight highs and also this 50 level on the ES. Had a nice little short there. Could have been a lot more. Could have been a lot more. I had a short earlier on a different set of accounts here, but this one here could have been a lot bigger. I just didn't have the stones to hold through this drawdown. Not really a drawdown, but hold all the way through this retesting my entry. But that would have been a monster trade had I held. And then it's difficult. It's hard for me to hold, even on ES. I mean, ES right now is super volatile. There's big moves on ES. And NQ obviously is just in another planet. But I got caught right here on these two funded accounts, taking a short off of this little wick, this test candle almost of this area, and I thought this was going to break down, and I was flat out wrong. Took a $70 loss, and then we had this big push down, and I just stupidly jumped in thinking that okay, I'm missing the move. FOMO triggered that entry, and I got stopped out for a big loss there of $255. I did move my stop loss thinking, okay, this is just one of these temporary little moves, and I really wasn't paying attention. I knew that we were at VWAP here, but at the same time, the NAS was also at VWAP right here, and the NAS had a beautiful bounce off VWAP. That was the exact same time that I took this trade, and that was just a very, very poor choice of judgment on my behalf. So I suffered two big losses there. Well, one big loss. This trade here was a positive about $80, $90 trade. So this took us to just above break even, and this one ended up with a pretty red trade. Then, to add insult to injury, I went to the NAS, and we had these big wicks, or this one major big wick forming. And this was an area, you can see this red band. Let me go to the 15-minute chart. I want to show you. This was yesterday's high of day. I think it was yesterday's high. Or was it the overnight rejection? Or the, hang on a minute. I need to get my bearings straight here before I just start yapping my jaws. This was the overnight highs. The overnight highs, which was also the gap down break when we had this gap down here back on whatever day this was, the 5th, 6th, early morning of the 6th. That was this area. And I had this kind of marked out for a potential fade. And the interesting thing was, we were kind of, I felt like this market was, if you look at it, it was really kind of holding this level, but this looked to me like a break and retest short opportunity. That was the setup that I was looking for. When this big wick happened, I was like, okay, and this candle actually turned red when I took my entry. And I thought, okay, this is actually just a big move up, break and retest. And again, you have to remember, I was still kind of smarting off of this painful loss here that I was expecting a down, a short setup or a downtrending move. And so that clouded my judgment. This candle faked me. I entered and I decided to move my stop. And I had like an 80-point stop, which is something that I never ever do. I typically, a big stop for me is 40 points, 50 points. Most of the time I try to trade with 25 points, but in this current market, this is a different ball game. So I moved my stop up above the overnight highs, and of course, market decides to take me out. Took me out, and then we took me out, and then we rolled all the way back, and I lost this funded account, which is a bummer, very much a bummer. I've had that account for 68 days, I believe, and I took a big loss on this one. I guess the positive, if there is one, is these were the two accounts that I had that had the least amount of drawdown left. So these were the closest accounts to being blown. I'm not sure if I can hang on to this one or not. We shall see. $200 and some left. $266 a drawdown is not a lot in the current market. So I may have to just take that as a standalone and see if I can revive it. But unfortunately, we did lose that one. So that was that. And then obviously we had this huge move this afternoon. Boy, it would have been awesome to try to trade some evals and try to pass some evals, but there we go. That was the day. So we shall see how this thing sets up for tomorrow. If you look at the big picture, we have almost reclaimed. This was the tariff news big drop right here at the 20,000s. We are at 19.4, up 2,500 points from the overnight. So just an absolute magnificent move to the upside today, here this afternoon. So, you know, I guess we could see a bit, maybe we'll see a 2,000 point drop in the overnight or tomorrow. Who knows with this market? It is anybody's guess. I think as long as the tariff news stays somewhat positive, hopefully we can hold and maybe start to push higher. I would love to see some of these levels hold. Here you have this low from April the 3rd, the overnight low from the 3rd. We have a low back here from April the 1st, I think this was, and the overnight May 30th to April 1st. A couple of these lows, it would be really nice to see these areas hold and kind of build off of that. We need to see you know, some of these levels reclaim to push back up, and if we can get above this 20,000, I think we really have something. On the ES, we are, this is on a 5-minute chart. Let me change this to 15. Hopefully this doesn't take too long. And we can kind of see where this thing is shaking out at. You know what, while that is doing that, let's take a quick gander at TradeZella. This was today, and again, like I said, I'm actually quite happy with today. I had a 61% win rate. The average win to loss was pretty skewed because I took those two really big losses, a big one on ES and a big one on NQ. But beyond these two red accounts, I actually traded quite well. So I'm not going to be too hard on myself. Yes, I moved my stop loss. Yes, we turned the week to red slightly. We can reclaim that over the next 2 days. I'm not too worried about that. So yeah, there was that, but outside of that, it was actually quite positive. I thought I traded quite well actually. So I'm not going to be too down over losing this account. I mean, I did pass this one account yesterday. I didn't trade it today. I really wasn't planning on trading it until I get some of these accounts in better health, if I can put it in those kind of words. And I'm not sure if I'm going to trade that. You know, we'll see. I did almost pass another account today prior to that big news event. So maybe I can try to pass a few more accounts and put some fresh ones together and then eventually start trading them. So that's that. Now we're back to this 15-minute chart. So we are right here this is the previous month FOMC highs, if I am correct. I think that's what this is. So the news, maybe not. Maybe this is the breakdown, the tariff news breakdown. That was on April the 2nd. And this is on April. Yeah, okay, this is. So this is interesting. This is really interesting. Look at this. So we've reclaimed on ES, we've reclaimed about, I would say 75% of the move down from peak to trough on the tariff news. So look at this. On ES, we're at the 5750s, 5800s, if you will. And we dropped all the way down here to the 4850s. And we're back up here to the 5500s. So about 3/4 of the move is reclaimed. And let's see how that corresponds. Look at this on NQ. We're probably more like 80% of the move reclaimed. We went from the 2000s to the 16.5s, and now we're back up here above the 19.3s. So that's interesting to me how both markets there have reclaimed 75 to 80% of the move. I don't know. I have some optimism. I have some optimism going into tomorrow that hopefully and maybe this thing will rebound, reclaim, and we start to push back to the upside. Look at the daily chart. This is wild. This is wild. Look at this. Pushing right back up. This is the one thing that has a little bit of caution is these big lows right here and the 20 SMA. So the 20 SMA is hitting right here. Where's that on the ES? We're still below the 20 SMA, but we also have these big lows from previously. So I think this is a big area. The 5580s, 5575, 5580s, this needs to reclaim to push this thing higher. Likewise on NQ, we really need to hold above the 19.3s. I think we're right at the key level that needs to hold in order for this to actually turn into another bullish move. I don't want to see another bear flag, if you will. That would be a very wild bear flag, but in any case, it definitely appears like this thing could be on the up and on the upside. So we'll see. Jury's obviously out, and this is a kind of an eyes wide open market. We've got to be very much paying attention to what's going on in the intraday, because as we saw today, things can change on a dime. So hey, that's the update for today. Once again, I want to say thank you for hanging out. Thanks for following along. Thanks for using my code BCT with Apex, Take Profit Trader, and TradeZilla. Take Profit does have that 30% discount still going on and no activation fees. I am trying to pass the Take Profit account. Had a nice day yesterday. Gave back a couple $100 on it today. Not too bad. So again, I didn't get to trade this in the afternoon like I would have really liked. When I logged back in here after the market had closed, I was like, wow, what a move, and I missed it, but that's okay. All right, I'll leave you with that. And take care. Until next time, so long.